All right, I'm going to be talking about how to use the new EXP coding space. So the thing that you need to remember is that this is a web-based program, and the website, I'll type it down here, is codeexp.vex.com. And you should just memorize that so you can type it in anytime you are on a browser on one of the computers, codeexp.vex.com. Okay, now when you get here, you need to probably do File, New, Text Project. You could do blocks, and that would look like this, but I am not going to teach you how to use blocks. We are going to be doing text. And when you open a new text project, it needs to be in C++ because I'm not teaching Python. Although if you want to teach yourself Python, that's fine too. All right, so here we go. Now, initially this looks a lot different than what we're used to, but it is actually very similar. We have our function library on the left here. We have our compiler messages down at the bottom, and we have our coding space over here. Now, if you want to give yourself more space, you can just click here and click here, and now you've got much more space to code. For now, though, it's nice to have this function library over here. You'll notice that each one of these functions has a question mark, and when you click on it, there's a lot of information that comes up over here. Now, I know it's a lot of reading, but this is actually a lot easier to use than our previous Robot C program. And so if you want to know how something works, click the question mark and then read through it. Okay, otherwise, if you call me over to help you with this, I'm going to tell you to open the question mark and read through it. So you're going to have to do it anyway, so you might as well just get used to it. Now the first thing that we need to do is we need to set up a couple of motors, and that's with this little button over here. It actually looks like the little socket that the motor cable plugs into. So we're going to add a motor. We're going to plug into port 1, and I'm going to call it motor R. The nice thing about this is that if the name is already used, it turns orange, which is really helpful. So I'm going to call it motor R, and I'm going to add another one, and we're going to call it motor L. Now this is the same as before. You need to name your motors and make sure you use the same names when you are writing your program. Now I know that I need to reverse one of these motors in order for my squarebot to actually move in a straight line. So I'm going to reverse the left side motor, and if I download this to my robot and it moves backwards, then I'll just switch and change my left side to normal and my right side to reverse. But okay, so I've got these two things in there, and now you'll notice that on the left side of our function library we have a whole bunch of new motor functions. And so I'm going to show you how to make a function that will get your squarebot to move in a straight line, or at least get you started so that you could download it to your squarebot and see if it does actually work. You'll notice up here that the pragma section is really long, and that's okay. We can expand it by pressing the little plus and minus button right next to line 1. And that's why it jumps from line 1 to line 38, because it's just expanding and collapsing all of this code here. Okay. All right, and the nice thing is you can put in a lot of information up here, like, who's writing it and what the project is and describe it and et cetera, et cetera. So let's get on to our function that will make our squarebot move in a straight line. We're going to call it void move forward. And this is just the function name that I've been using. Of course, you can name it anything you want, but try to make your function names make sense. All right, so move forward, and I'm going to give it 2 parameters. And these are parameters. This is information that you are going to input when you call the function within task main. And the 2 parameters I'm going to give it are the speed. We're going to input a speed, and then we're going to input a time. And I'm going to use a floating point type variable for time. And the reason for that is that if we need to make really specific or really small adjustments, we're going to be making those adjustments at the time. The speed, I think, is not the most useful parameter to adjust. I mean, if your squarebot's moving way too fast, you can bump the speed down. But if we're going to make really specific adjustments, we're going to be adjusting the time. All right, so one thing I really like about this is that anytime you type in an opening curly brace, it automatically gives you the closing one, and all you need to do is click the enter button once. It'll move that closing curly brace down and put your cursor right in line to start writing code. Now, the way that these motors work is that they have a lot of internal sensors, which allows you to do a lot of really cool things with them. The downside of this is that it takes a little bit more code to get them to behave the way that we are used to making motors work. So if to set the speed and make a motor run requires 2 lines of code. The motor spin command up here at the top, and you can click the little question mark to see what it does. This actually starts the motors. The set velocity command tells the motor what speed it is going to run at whenever you tell it to spin. Okay, so if you want to set the speed and start the motor, it takes 2 commands. Okay, so we're going to do that right here. We're going to set velocity, and then we're going to start the motor. So we're going to do, oh, and notice how it says motor dot. That's one of the ways that this code works, is that we're going to put the motor name at the front. So motor R dot set velocity, and we're going to set it to the speed, which is right here, and we're going to make it a percent. So instead of going from 0 to 127, we are going to go from 0 to 100, and that is 0%, which is stopped, to 100%, which is maximum speed. All right, so we've set the speed of our right motor, and now we are going to do the same for our left motor. Motor L.set. And of course, you could, use copy and paste for this. And that's one of the reasons why I use motor R instead of motor right and motor L instead of motor left, is that when you copy and paste, these similar commands, you only need to change one letter to get them to, be for one motor or the other. All right, so now we need to start both motors, and so we're going to use this motor spin command. So we'll do motor R spin dot spin forward. All right, and again, the copy and paste is really useful for repeating these lines of code, and I only need to change one letter to make it do the left motor. All right, now we need to put in our wait command, which is very similar to before, and we're going to put in our time. We're going to use this parameter as our wait, but we also need to put in the unit, which is going to be seconds, and that's new. We can change the unit so that this number can be seconds or minutes or hours or days or whatever, but we're going to leave it at seconds. And then we need to stop motors, so we do motor R dot stop. This is exactly the same as before, and of course we can copy and paste that in, have it be our left motor. Whoops. That's stop. Okay. The last thing I want to do probably is to give this a little bit of time to slow down. And so what I'm going to do is actually put in a second wait. And we're going to make that 0.25 seconds. That'll just give your SquareBot enough time to actually slow down and stop after you send the stop command. All right, so we've got this function here. This is the header of the function. It gives you the type of function, the name of it, and any parameters. And this is the definition. So this is the lines of code that will be run when you call this function. Now I need to make sure that I'm going to put this function up in my declaration section. So I've copied the header. I'm going to make a function, and I'm going to paste that in. Now, you do not put a semicolon at the end of a function definition header, but you do put a semicolon at the end of a function declaration header. That makes sense? All right, now within task main, we can call that function. All right, and we can say what speed we want it to run at and the time we want it to run for. Now, with your new SquareBots, the speed is probably 50% faster than the old ones. So running everything at full speed is not a great plan. I mean, these things really move. So I would suggest setting the speed to something like 50% and running them for only a couple of seconds. Otherwise, it'll be across the classroom before you can catch it. All right. So now we've called our move forward function. And the nice thing about this is that this is all we need, because when you when you download this to your robot brain and you start the program, it will stop once this function is done. And if you want to start it again, you can just press the button again. You don't technically have to put an infinite while loop in. So you can just leave it like this. Now, if you wanted to build a second function to turn, I could do that, and then I could complete any one of the SquareBot challenges. I want to talk real quickly about speed ramping, and this is something that I've been seeing students do, and I want to kind of help you out on it. Students have been making a separate function for the speed ramp, which it makes sense. However, I think what you can do is just make a speed ramp section in your move forward function. And that will allow you to, use a speed ramp every time you get the motor to move. And so what I would do if I was going to do that, remember it takes 4 lines of code, actually 5 lines of code to set the speed of 2 motors, to run those 2 motors, and then to run them for a certain amount of time. So what I would do if I wanted to put in a speed ramp is I would copy all 5 lines, and then I'd give myself a little bit of space, and I'd paste them here. And in this case, what I would do is I'd set it at maybe 25%. It's probably good. And I think you only need to do this. I think you only need to do this once, honestly, and make it run for a quarter of a second. And this is a totally adequate speed ramp. It's going to give the SquareBot enough time to get up to speed because, again, these motors are a lot faster than our previous ones, and these things will actually do wheelies if you don't do a speed ramp, especially if you set the speed at 100%. So just getting it, up to about a quarter speed for a quarter second, the 25% is a quarter speed and 0.25 is a quarter second. That'll be enough to keep all the wheels of your SquareBot on the ground, which I know wheelies are super cool, but if you're trying to get your SquareBot to move in a straight line and it's doing a wheelie and, turning a little bit sideways while it's in the air, it can get really frustrating really quickly. So this is all the speed ramp that I think you really need in order to keep your SquareBot on the ground. All right, so there's your intro on how to use your VEX code. If you want to compile it, there's no button for compile, so the compile is build. And it looks like, oh, I got a couple mistakes. I forgot that my M in motor, when I named them, is a lowercase m. So that's one of the things I really like about this, is that it highlights the mistake, and it'll also tell you down here. Let's see, and we have to do, let's see, what is wait. Oh, wait time 0.25. We need seconds. There we go. Try build again. All right, got rid of all the errors. Cool. I think, yeah. So build is your compile. Now to connect a robot brain, you have to use one of the new chords, and what you do is press the connect button, press connect, press continue, and there's going to be like 2 options here. Usually pick the top one, and if that's not the right one, it'll say this is not the right one, and then you just do it again and press the bottom one. Once you select download, it's going to go really fast, and it's going to take less than a second to download. Then you follow the same procedure, unplug, put your SquareBot on the floor, select the program on the brain, and press the checkbox to run it. All right, there you go.